Hey guys, Aaron Kubitz, personal trainer, functional aesthetics EC, helping average guys perform better inside and outside the gym. So today I want to talk a little bit about two polar extremes that I see in the health and fitness space. And I think a lot of this has to do with personality type and also a little bit with gender. I tend to see certain trends there as well. But essentially where you'll have some people that will, like, just to preface this, most people begin their fitness journey not for the health reasons, but more so for the aesthetic reasons or performance, right? So they're either in a sport where they're trying to perform better, and so they're trying to find any sort of way that they can, shave a little bit of time off of their run, get a little bit lighter or something, help them build a little bit more muscle, get stronger, whatever the case may be, right? And so on the other hand, you have people who are, primarily interested in the aesthetic end of it. They want to lose some weight. They want to build some muscle. One of those two things, right? And so how people go about pursuing these two goals, because, usually it's after you've achieved these goals that, and if you go about it in the right way, and you start, experiencing the benefits that living a healthier lifestyle entails. You have better sleep at night, you have more energy throughout the day, you're in a better mood, you handle your stress better, you're more creative, you have more drive, you have more stamina at work, right? All these different things. And so you're like, hey, I'm really happy with the outcome of this. I'm going to continue doing this above and beyond just how it helps me perform at the gym or on the playing field, and above and beyond how it makes me look physically. And so you continue doing it for those reasons, right? And so there's a couple different ways that people tend to approach getting in shape for the aesthetics or the performance reasons. And this is more to do with the aesthetic side of things, although it can go on the performance end too. But you'll have people that either focus heavily on exercise, or you'll have people who focus heavily on nutrition, right? And this usually has to do with the personality type, right? Type A type of people, or highly competitive sort of people. A lot of times they will tend to be very attracted to the exercise end of things, right? Also, men tend to be more attracted to extreme exercise than women. Women will tend to focus more on their diet if they're trying to lose weight, right? And so there are these differences there. Now, it's not either one or the other, right? Extreme exercise by itself is not going to give you your dream physique, and extreme dieting is not either, right? So eating sensibly, eating healthy, randomly eating, big salads, or randomly cutting out, most of the carbohydrates or fat out of your diet is not going to provide you with the goal that you're looking for. Sure, you might lose some weight, but you're probably not going to be performing that well either. The goal is ultimately to not only look good, but also perform and feel good as well, because this is going to be a lifestyle, something you're going to carry on for the rest of your life, right? Same thing with the extreme exercise end of things, right? Without a proper diet to be able to sustain that, to fuel that, inevitably you may actually end up with a worse physique than if you had not been doing that. So it has to be that synergy between the diet that you are, the workout plan that you're doing, and the diet that you're using to fuel that workout. And so you have to be clear when you go into this: is my primary goal to improve my performance, or is my primary goal to improve the way my physique looks? And so how you approach your training and how you approach your diet, they have to match. You can't be eating a diet that's primarily geared towards making you look better, have a six-pack, have, see the separation between your muscle fibers and stuff, and then be going out there and trying to run marathons. It's two completely different goals, right? And it's gonna not work out very well for you. You're not gonna get the best aesthetics benefits from that, and you're also not gonna have the best performance benefits trying to follow that approach. For example, when I was out in South Dakota several years hiking with my wife, and we met a family that was a very nice family and everything. I think they were from Michigan or something, and they own their own business and everything, and really liked this family. We were talking to them a lot. They're very interesting. They were actually seeing a lot of different places. They were on a pretty lengthy trip, not just to the Black Hills, but on this trip, the wife, she had actually just finished doing a 100-mile mountain bike race through the Badlands in South Dakota. And I just thought that was really impressive because we had stopped in the Badlands. It had been 105 degrees and just extremely dry and stuff. But when you would look at her, she didn't look anything like you would expect an athlete to look, right? And this is kind of a classic case of getting your aesthetics and your performance goals mixed up, right? And so it's like, are you doing all this, you know, extreme exercise because you just love doing it and you like challenging yourself, or are you doing it because you actually want to look better? Because you know, doing these 100-mile races, all this kind of stuff, even like, you know, David Goggins, a lot of people get inspired by David Goggins, right? But by his own admission, right, he fuels himself with quality nutrition, right? He's conscious about what he eats. In his first few races and stuff that he did, you know, he was eating animal crackers and stuff because he didn't know what he was doing, right? But now he definitely pays attention to what he does. In fact, even like getting like the broken shins in the Bud S training, you know, who knows if that had to do with maybe poor nutrition when he was a kid, you know, growing up as, you know, being raised by a single mom or something. Who knows what they were able to afford eating and stuff like that. So there's all these different things involved in that. So just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something, and you should always be matching your diet to the training that you plan to be doing. And be clear, am I working out because I want to look better, or am I working out because I want to perform better? Because the diet and that is going to help you to look really good is not always the diet that's going to help you to perform the best. So it doesn't mean that they're mutually exclusive, but you can't strictly, you know, if you want to achieve one goal as fast as possible, the diet that's going to help you do that is not going to be the diet that's going to help you go run marathons, do ultra marathons, do adventure races, all that kind of stuff. And so you got to be clear, why am I doing all this extreme exercise? Is it because I want to look good, or is it because I want to challenge myself and I want to be able to perform really good in a sport or something, right? If you're an athlete who's like, hey, you know, I want to go compete in like an Olympic marathon or something, then your diet is definitely not going to be geared towards making you look better. It's going to be geared strictly towards performance. Same thing if you're a guy who wants to do like hybrid athlete training, right, where you're lifting like a power lifter and then you're going out and you're running marathons, right? You got to have a diet that's going to fuel performance. You're not going to be eating like a bodybuilder in contest prep or trying to see your abs while you're doing this. It's going to be mutually exclusive goals. Now, you can, in a much slower fashion, achieve both of these, but if you try to, you know, do an aesthetics diet and combine it with a performance workout routine, it's not going to work out too well. So hopefully that helps you guys out. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. See you next time.